On the first day, the woman married into the wealthy family. She was assigned to take care of the disabled CEO's daily needs. No one expected that not long after the wedding night, the CEO, who had always appeared unable to move and stayed in a wheelchair, suddenly stood up and grabbed the woman by the neck. The household servants were not surprised at all. In fact, the woman was already the sixth person sent this month to serve the CEO. The previous women had all left after unexpected incidents, but no one expected what happened next. The CEO originally intended to overpower the woman, yet she quickly turned the situation around and restrained him instead, making it impossible for him to break free. After that, she called the servants over and told them to remove all the bland dishes on the table and replace them with fried chicken, fries, and sweet and sour pork. The truth was that the woman had already realized something from the very beginning. The CEO had been eating those plain, low-nutrition meals every day. If it continued, his body would eventually weaken badly, and even his life could be at risk. She's not like the kind of person I imagined, someone quietly thought. What no one knew was that the woman never wanted to marry into the wealthy family in the first place. She had been forced into the marriage. The CEO's stepmother had set her sights on the woman long ago. Knowing the woman had no parents and no strong support system, and that her gentle nature made her easy to control, the stepmother secretly bribed the woman's uncle and forced her to marry the disabled CEO. She also demanded that the woman secretly damage the CEO's health using her medical skills. Only then could the stepmother's own son take the inheritance and seize the family fortune. The woman agreed to this strange marriage for one reason: to get enough money to escape the control of her uncle's family. She had already endured years of pressure and exploitation from them. The CEO found the woman's attitude toward him very strange and could not help but ask her about it. After hearing her response, the CEO's expression suddenly turned gloomy. He believed that, with his disabled legs, he was nothing but a burden and unworthy of anyone's help. Seeing this, the woman immediately decided she would help treat his condition. However, the CEO misunderstood her intentions and pushed her away, thinking she was mocking him. Feeling helpless, the woman took out a silver needle and gently pressed it into a point behind the CEO's head. His body immediately stiffened and he could no longer move. Taking the opportunity, she carefully examined his legs. She discovered that although his injury had lasted for many years, it was not completely beyond treatment. But the CEO did not believe her words. He was convinced that no one in the world could cure his condition. Although he said he didn't believe her, he secretly ordered his subordinates to watch the woman closely to see what she was really planning. The next morning, the CEO's stepmother came to see the woman and handed her a black card worth $8 million. She demanded that the woman act faster and ensure the CEO eventually became completely dependent and unable to care for himself. The entire conversation was secretly observed by the CEO's men. However, after receiving the card, the woman did not spend the money on herself. Instead, she took the CEO to the mall that same day and helped him pick out several well-fitting outfits. In her heart, she had already made a decision. Once she fully healed the CEO's legs, she would leave immediately. Buying him a few clothes was simply her way of making up for everything. Late that night, the CEO suddenly fell ill and felt extremely uncomfortable. The woman was startled and immediately checked his pulse. Only then did she discover that he had unknowingly been poisoned. Without hesitation, she quickly used her acupuncture skills to remove the toxin from his body. When the CEO woke up, he was filled with confusion. Seeing that he was safe, the woman began thinking about the cause. The CEO had eaten and drunk the same things as usual that day. The only difference was their visit to the mall. Suddenly, she realized the problem likely came from something they had bought. She picked up one of the shirts and carefully smelled it, immediately noticing that someone had tampered with it. To find the real culprit, the woman asked the CEO to pretend that the poisoning had seriously weakened him. Late that night, one of the servants secretly slipped out of the villa, planning to report to the person behind the scheme. But the CEO caught the servant red-handed. Realizing the truth could no longer be hidden, the servant confessed everything. That morning she had found $100,000 in cash in her room along with a note threatening her. She had been ordered to tamper with the CEO's clothes, or her parents would suffer the consequences. After hearing this, the CEO surprisingly did not punish her. Instead, he let her go, planning to use the situation to draw out the real mastermind. Seeing how clearly the CEO handled the situation, the woman began to see him in a new light. He was far smarter than he appeared. Soon, news that the CEO was perfectly fine reached the stepmother. Furious, she confronted the woman and demanded to know why the CEO was not only unharmed but actually becoming healthier. The woman calmly avoided the question, saying she was simply following the plan step by step. The stepmother warned her not to play any tricks, threatening severe consequences if she dared to deceive her. Afterward, the stepmother told the woman that the family's old madam had recently fallen ill and asked her to go treat her. But not long after the woman left, the old madam's condition suddenly worsened. Another scheming woman quickly chased after her, dragged her back into the room, and accused her of causing the problem. Looking at the old madam in pain, the woman felt confused and wronged. She had clearly prescribed the correct treatment, so the condition should not have worsened. Yet the scheming woman insisted that the woman had deliberately harmed the old madam. This accusation caused the CEO to completely misunderstand her intentions. Believing she had approached him with bad motives from the start, he immediately ordered that the woman be locked away. And this all began on the very first day the woman married into the wealthy family.